Welcome to DAX Machina. Join us as we explore the mysteries of this world. Cryptids, monsters, macabre tales, and horror stories abound. Could they be true? Are monsters real?
Good evening, folks, and thank you for joining us for another edition of DAX Machina. We are coming to you tonight through the janky machinations of my crap top, as I refer to it. If I hitch out or just freeze for no reason, suddenly look like a deer in the headlights, y'all will know that's why. But joining me tonight is Robbie, Anthony Pitbull Canatella, my son Noah. Doc is finally back in the house, my brother from another mother. How you been, brother?
Wyatt, I am rolling.
And Krista is here from Blondes and Booze, and the other ladies, Brandy and Aaron, should be popping in soon. But we're going to have a heck of a show for you guys. We're going to talk about some of the events that happened down at the Fall into the Supernatural, if you guys missed it. And we are also going to be talking about some of the hauntings they've investigated and some other creepy stuff from around the Ozarks. So, Krista, introduce yourself. Tell us about your channel, and let's jump on in this.
I'm Krista. I'm one of the co-hosts of Blondes and Booze, and here we are. I mean, I started out with the ghost, and it's brought me to cryptid, so glad to be here.
And I am going to post a link to your channel in there in the chat. So, folks, if you want to jump over there to their channel, you can hit like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you show them a little love and appreciation, because they really produce some awesome content. How's everybody doing tonight? We see we got a pretty good crowd already jumping in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, 46 I got.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me get out of it. I was just seeing if it was working on my channel, and it is. It is working.
Cowboy.
So we're actually broadcasting on their channel as well. So
yep.
Nice.
This is awesome. It's one of the things that Restream lets us pair with other channels, and I'll be looking for us to do that quite a bit here in the near future. Haunted History says I'm on their channel right now. Awesome.
That's Dave Glidden. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave. Dave, how you doing, brother? Well, let's start out by talking about Fall into the Supernatural. What do you think?
Well, I think you need to tell me about your experience when you left the ranch, is what I think.
Well, let's get to that. Let's talk about the Bigfoot bonfire first.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was
right
fun.
before. That was a lot of fun.
That was fun, but the weird part is no sooner than Annette and I and the boys got down there, we could hear something walking in the woods, and you heard it too when you got down there.
I did.
And then at one point, while I was doing my little presentation spiel, something chucked something at my wife from the woods.
Yeah, and I was sitting next to her.
Yeah, you were right next to her. So
Yeah.
I think it landed like somewhere right between you two.
Yeah.
I think it hit the tree above them, actually.
Yeah.
Well, we know there's squirrels out at 11 o'clock at night chucking stuff at people.
Right.
No,
I was directly
cool,
across
I
from
gotta say, it was fun. It was interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I think I had enough wine in me that night. It didn't scare me. Had I been sober, I'd probably been running away.
Well, the whole event down there at the ranch is a really neat place, and with the proximity to the Missouri River and as many sightings as there have been in that area,
right?
It was a really great place to have that Bigfoot bonfire, and I would love to do that again out there, because
for sure.
I think we definitely had something keeping an eye on us, even though it never got close enough. We were told we could come back. Awesome. Well, even though Noah and Connor and even me had several times shined flashlights out in the woods, we never saw anything and never got close enough where we could see it, but we could hear it moving. I mean, throughout the whole night, we could hear it.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. That's for sure. It's almost like it knew that you were talking about it, or its species or something. You know,
I think the fire drew it in, because the fire had been going for about an hour before we even got down there.
Yeah.
I think the fire got its curiosity, and then of course when we started showing up down there,
right, and then all the noise, the people and stuff too.
At one point, I think there was about 15 or 20 of us down there.
Yeah, every bit of it, if not a little more, actually.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was awesome.
Get a mental image of who all was down there. I think about 20, 25 would be accurate. Yeah.
I was going to say, I think we sold I think we capped out the Bigfoot part at 20 tickets sold, and that was sold out. So
let me attempt, and I say attempt, to load some of the pictures I took I know I've got them on my OneDrive. It's just a matter of whether or not it will stay working long enough for me to load any pictures.
Oh, Lord.
Let me see if I can find them real quick. Y'all talk amongst yourselves.
Oh no. You want me to talk and I've had a beer? That's not a good idea.
Bigfoot and social anxiety. Discuss.
Randy said it's not letting her in, DA.
Let me try
Yeah.
sending her an invite directly.
Do we have too
Doc,
many
that's a
people?
pretty
Do I need to
good-looking-
bow out?
Let me let her know.
Doc, that's a pretty good looking sign you got behind you, buddy.
Man, I know some sexy feller sent that thing to me.
Anthony got a good looking one above his head, too. Come on, sir. Hey, look, there's one right there, too.
It should let us have up to 12 people. I don't know why it's not.
Let me ask her what
It
it's
says
saying.
up to 10. I'll send. Is it for Brandy?
Yeah, Brandy.
I will send it directly to her then.
Okay. Okay.
I just sent it directly.
Okay. I told her to let me know if that don't work. So
Here's one of the pictures from down there. And it wasn't like we had a small fire. It was fairly large.
it was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty sizable.
That's a fire.
That's definitely a fire.
Mhm.
That's a fire right there.
Oh, yeah.
Roll Charlie around
Big or
together.
go home.
Yeah, I felt like a rotisserie chicken walking around it. I mean,
It was hot.
it was putting out some heat.
That
Yeah,
was.
but you guys stayed warm though, didn't you?
Oh yeah, there was no doubt
Oh,
about that.
I fell
Yeah.
asleep sitting up at one point. I moved one of the benches just a little bit closer to the fire, sat down on it, just kind of leaned forward, stuck my head on my hands, and I was just snoozing.
Yeah.
This picture right here, if you look, well, kind of. No, I was facing the opposite direction. I'm sorry. That's a shot of some of the people that were there. If this picture right here, right where you see me sitting, it was almost straight back. Well, my wife is to my right in the picture,
Mhm.
and then that's you,
Right.
Krista, right there. Whatever came sailing out of the trees landed somewhere over between them.
Yep.
That's
I
We never
think
did
it hit
find
that
what it
branch
was.
above them because I saw the branch moving from over where I was.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
should've
it was
took more
pretty
pictures.
crazy.
It was really intense. It was a great time. Everybody asked a lot of great questions, and I
Okay,
really enjoyed doing it.
real quick, I don't mean to interrupt you, but Brandy said it's saying Mike has been denied, but I'm not getting prompted to approve Mike.
What?
That's what she said. She said it's saying Mike has been denied, but I'm not getting prompted to approve Mike.
Who the hell is Mike?
Like a microphone, her microphone.
Oh, I'm like,
I think we
what?
were all like, "Who's Michael?"
Who's Mike?
Who's this Mike guy? Why is he trying to get in the chat?
You got somebody in your pocket?
Anthony's out of
DA?
crayons again.
Yeah,
That
Mike.
was nice.
I don't know why it's not allowed.
We were all thinking it. Anthony's just the one that said it.
That's it. I hate Mike. That son of a bitch, Mike. I hate him.
Oh, dude, he still owes me for lunch, dude. Damn it, Mike.
If she's listening, I hope she can hear me. When it lets you in at the beginning part, there's a little gear icon. That's the settings.
I'm
You may
going to
have
call
go
her
in-
real quick,
Yeah,
and I
you
will.
should. She'll have to select the mic she's intending to use.
Okay, I'm gonna call her real quick and just tell
Okay.
her that. Just be done
Okay.
here.
Sorry, folks. It wouldn't
Oh,
be a
man.
DA show if we didn't have
Hey.
some sort of mechanical.
Okay,
alarm.
so DA just said what was it, DA? I'm sorry, can you repeat yourself?
When she first logs in, there should be a little gear icon. That's settings. And just click on the settings. It should allow you to adjust both your video and your audio settings. Select
Would
what
you-
camera you're using. Select
Okay,
what
try
mic
that
you're
now. Okay, let me know if it don't work. Bye. Okay.
using. Okay, well, hopefully that works.
Yeah.
We may have to remove the text on screen.
Yeah,
Want to
that'll
just
give
like
you
shrink
more-
all of our cameras?
No, I can
There
do
you
that.
go. It's on the
We'll
side.
just have to look at the chat on the side.
Yeah. Because Mike needs to get in.
True. Mike does need to get in here.
Mike has to.
Hey, Cowboys, how's it going, man?
So DA, how many times you get stuff chunked at you, man?
Just the one time. It wasn't actually thrown at me. It was thrown at kind of right at Krista and Annette.
Mhm.
All right, I can't lie.
One
It was
Bigfoot, actually.
It was me and Robbie in a ghillie suit behind us in the woods.
I'm gonna say,
Dang it, Anthony! You weren't supposed to tell him that quick.
I know.
hey, Robbie and Anthony, do you want to get shot? Because that's how you get shot.
I know.
Well, it wasn't like there wasn't people down there that were packing, because I know I was.
Well, and I know Brandy was.
Mhm.
Right.
Well, the David By, who was sitting kind of to the left of where I was, had his strapped to his chest. So it wasn't like there wasn't a few of us down there with firearms.
Robbie
Yeah.
told me just to stay low to the ground. That's all he said. Stay low.
Yeah, you got to take your stance and make sure to square up your shoulders. It starts coming in. You go low, go for the
Yeah.
legs.
And I was behind a big tree. So if they did hit it, it was going to hit the tree.
Whew.
No, that was a fun and interesting evening for
It
sure.
really was.
Oh, yeah.
I look forward to doing it again.
I
Yeah.
guess William Nighthawk's having a problem with Mike too.
Yeah, William
Dude,
doesn't like Mike.
Mike.
Mike sucks.
Son of a bitch.
That damn Mike is all over the place.
He's just screwing over everybody, isn't he?
Should we wait for her to get in to talk about what me and Noah and Annette and Connor saw leaving the ranch, or do you want to talk about it now?
I mean, we can go ahead and talk about it. I mean, that's fine. We'll just fill her in.
Okay. Well, right after the Bigfoot thing was over, we got done about 11:30.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, when Annette was ready to go crash out at the hotel, and the horse ranch is not exactly right on the highway. It is you back off a gravel road, off a side road, off another highway. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, and I really
Literally.
loved that about it. I'm gonna do a blog entry about it, and I've got a whole bunch of pictures I took at the ranch. I didn't want to post them all up here because I want to save them for the blog and the website and stuff. But anyway, beside that, we were leaving. It was fairly late, 11:30ish, but between 11:30 and midnight when we finally were hauling out of there. So me, Annette, we're in the front seat. Noah and Connor were in the back seat, and we head off the ranch, and it's easily 2 or 3 miles from the ranch to get back to Blacktop. You got to drive gravel quite a ways, and we left the ranch. And Christy, you go straight out of the ranch, and then you've got that 90-degree turn, and then it turns 90 again. Right after that second 90-degree turn, which is about a mile from the ranch, I've got my lights on bright, and I see something crossing the road. And at first, I'm thinking deer, because it was right about the right color. And Annette points out, she says, that doesn't move like a deer. And another thing that it did that doesn't is, the reason there's the phrase deer in the headlights. It didn't stop. It looked right at us and kept walking.
Wow.
There was no tail.
Straight at us.
It looked straight at us, and the eye shine was so bright, I really couldn't see the facial features of it. But it
looked like it had that long, tight snout of a deer from wherever from where I was at.
How tall do you think it was?
The back would have been well above the hood of the road.
Oh. Okay.
It wasn't small.
I told you last time you told us. I believe that was a dog man.
Don't tell me that, because I'm there all the time at that ranch, and that's not fun.
If it was a dog man, it had its tail. It had its tail.
I don't think it was a dog man.
I didn't see a tail, but it didn't move like a deer. It didn't react like a deer when the headlights hit it.
But
if it was
looked
a deer,
like
it was
a deer.
big. It would have been a big old beefy deer, because that thing's back was easily probably, I don't know, 8 to 10, maybe even a foot above.
It was low to the ground and keeping eyes on us while it skirted off into the woods.
It
didn't
go into the woods. It went into that corn.
Weird thing.
Yeah,
And a deer don't get low to the ground and skirt off.
No,
Did you?
no.
The deer
Did you say it went into corn?
Follow you.
It went into the corn.
It looked like a deer, but behaved like a predator.
How many dogman sightings involve them in cornfields?
Quite a few.
Oh, tons, Robbie, tons. You got mountain lions up there?
I mean, yeah.
It's close to the Missouri River, so yeah, I would say mountain lions are in the
Okay.
area. But
Could
it
have been
did.
a mountain lion.
Mountain lions have a big old thick ropey tail. This
Right.
did not have a tail. Didn't see one
No.
at all. If it had one, it
That's
was
crazy.
completely tucked down, and I couldn't see it. But when I
Y'all
first
may
saw
have
it,
Mr.
I
LBL
thought-
himself out there.
Oh
But
man.
as I first saw it, I thought it was a deer simply because it was kind of like that grayish fawn color.
Yeah.
Right.
But then it didn't move right, and even Annette's like, that doesn't move like a deer, and she's like, maybe it's a mountain lion. We're like, no, we don't see a tail, but
Mm.
it was probably 50 to 60 yards from us when we rounded that corner and first saw it, and it
Really?
kept moving steadily across the road as we were getting closer. But before we got within 100 feet of it, it made it into that corn, and I didn't get a real close look at it. But all told, we all saw it for I would say 10, 15 seconds.
Mm.
Yeah, it crossed the road in front of us and then like locked eyes with us while it dipped down into the corn.
You know, I don't know if I told you or not, but I used to stay out there at that ranch a whole lot. And so there's many mornings I'd get up at, I'd leave there at 5 o'clock in the morning to get to work and stuff. And, I always seen a lot of coyotes out there and deer and stuff, but never anything like that. So I don't know. That really kind of freaks me out. I'm not going to lie.
Well, it kind of freaked us out too. We talked about it all the way into the hotel. And even once we were inside, Cowboys 5 Ring says my autographed book came yesterday. Hey, well, I'm glad it got there, man. Thank you.
Nighthawk said something funny a second ago. He said it was trying to impress Noah. Watch out for the tall, hairy woman in the woods. Nighthawk, brother, I have dated my fill of tall, hairy women. I'm okay.
Looks like we lost Anthony.
Hey,
No, I'm here.
Oh, I thought you were laying down suppressive fire on whoever was in your driveway.
Doc had froze up for a second in his little Anthony pose.
No, I'm here.
Well, Aaron, I guess, is having issues too getting in.
Why? What the
the
hell is
heck?
going on?
So I'm not sure.
Oh, damn it, Bobby.
I'll send it directly to Aaron too.
You want me to jump out and see if you can get him in real quick?
I can do the same.
Uh,
And if I can't, I'll text you. No, all he has to do is yell from room to room. So
True, yeah. I can just like lean back and just scream in agony.
yeah, let me jump out and see if you can get them in.
okay.
Here, I'll pop on out as well and just message me if
Okay.
Let me tell Brandy to try to log in, then I'll call Aaron and tell her.
Well, I sent the link to both of them. Aaron hasn't seen it yet. Brandy has.
Okay. Are you able to get in? No.
Oh,
It's saying her mic is off and she can't turn it back on. There's no word that'll allow her to do it. So
huh. What the heck?
wait a minute, she's trying something. It says her mic is on according to Restream.
But then again, it told me that I did not give permission for Restream to use it.
And then it's telling her she didn't give permission for Restream to use it.
did she try restarting her browser?
Try
Is it-
restarting your browser.
Yeah, make
Is
sure
it-
make sure nothing else is using the camera or the microphone.
Yeah, make sure
Yeah, I
nothing
had
else
that
is
problem
using the
before.
camera or the microphone.
Okay.
It should
All right,
give her a
girl.
prompt that'll ask, would you like to give permission to this service to use microphone
Yeah,
and
it should give
camera?"
you a
And-
prompt that will ask you for permission.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shut it off.
She's gonna turn her phone off and on. Okay, and then
Okay.
text me if you don't get in.
Okay.
All right, bye.
That's fine.
Okay. She was texting. I'm like,
Damn it, Doc disappeared now.
We lost Doc. He's
Oh,
being
you know.
Chair's
exposed.
still there.
Sometimes we all got to disappear every now and then.
Somebody sent a message to Anthony. Tell him he can go ahead and come on back in.
I don't have him on anything.
I can tell
can't.
them.
I got it. I get him.
All right. I'm trying to do stuff and I keep getting little hitches. I'm afraid I'm going to overload the laptop and fry it. I don't think it would take a whole lot. That's the reason I call it the crap top. I need to replace that damn thing. Who's that behind Doc? I don't think it's in. Oh, the ghillie wrap.
There's just some guy.
I'm back.
Oh, the ghillie wrap.
I sent Anthony a message. Come on back in.
There's just some guy.
We're getting somebody's playing YouTube in the background.
We're hearing ourselves through Anthony's end.
I'm back. I got it off. Relax. I got it. I got it. I was like, I tell Anthony to come back. It's there. Let me jump in. Is she on her phone doing it?
I don't know.
It might be an issue if she's on her phone trying to log
We've had
in.
people get in on
I
the
think I-
phone before.
I think I did hear Krista say she was going to turn her phone off and turn it back on.
Well,
What,
actually, Brandy did, and that's what she's trying. And then I just talked to Erin. She's trying to log in as well.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, maybe
Good.
because I don't know. Does Restream allow you to use your phone to do that or not?
Yeah, it should.
Okay.
Should.
I've
Yeah,
logged
'cause they're
into
both on
Restream
phones.
on my phone.
Okay.
Dad, what chat bot do you use, or do you use one at all?
Nightbot.
Okay.
Although it wasn't working the other day when I
Yeah, it
tried to
doesn't.
get giveaways.
I tried to use exclamation point commands to see what commands you have set up, and it
I may
didn't
have to have
respond,
you
so-
help me once we get the
I
main
can do
computer
that,
back
yeah.
online. Have you help me straighten Nightbot out? Papa C said I just had a lovely month-long archery hunt in the Walla Walla Mountains.
Nice.
Awesome. That would have
Very
been
cool.
freaking awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I got to get back into archery hunting. I haven't done that in years.
Need
but
to
I can't.
get back into staying the hell away from the woods. Also, Anthony, are you okay?
Yeah, that hurt like a bitch. Hit my funny bone on that one.
I don't know about the hunting part, but I could totally get behind spending a month in the mountains.
Yeah.
Remind me when I come down, Anthony, to bring my bow and everything.
Yeah, I got mine packed away, man. I haven't used it in years, man. Years I haven't used it.
Mondoc says, I got a mini report of a two-legged being that jumped a fence and transitioned to four legs in northern Nodak, North Dakota. Awesome, man. Yeah,
It could have been Mike.
if you got more details on that, dude, send it to me. I'd love to hear more about it.
He didn't get permission either when he jumped the fence.
Yeah.
Northwood says, I don't do many things with my laptop. Well, I'm probably going to have to retire after this because I am really putting a strain on it. There's Doc.
It may have to give up the ghost
He's
after
back.
this. Welcome back, Doc. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, if you see smoke coming out of the top of his screen, then you know what's
Damn it,
going
Doc,
on.
we done thought a portal got you.
Well, I had an instructor
Damn
in the Army
wormholes.
I had an instructor in the
satellites.
Army one time that told me that all electronics run on smoke. And if you ever let the smoke out, they don't work anymore.
What?
I mean,
Yeah, that
It was the smoke theory of electronics. All electronics run on smoke. And if you ever let the smoke out, it doesn't work anymore.
Okay.
if you ever see smoke coming out of your CPU, it's too late.
Yeah.
You think?
You let the smoke out,
Wanna
it
let
ain't
it
gonna
out
work
now.
anymore.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with theirs. I don't know why they're having a problem with it. That's crazy.
I've never had any issues at a restream.
No.
Besides, when I was hopping in here, I had to restart my browser, but that's because it didn't recognize virtual camera through OBS.
No, John had a problem last week with it. He couldn't get his volume to work either.
Yeah.
For some reason, but he got in, but he had no
Yeah.
volume.
Hey, Doc, speaking of that can koozie, I may have to beg you out of another one because Noah stole mine and won't give it back.
Hey, man, listen.
Well, I may know.
I see what you did there.
She still having a problem, Krista?
I don't have a message from either one of them yet, so
That's
we'll
weird.
see.
So she's using her phone, right?
Both of them are.
Oh, okay.
I just had a wicked yawn.
I posted the link again in the Blondes and Booze group link.
Okay.
Well, you know what they say. Every time
Let me see what it does if I click on it through my phone.
No, Doc, we don't. Thanks for asking.
All right.
I was typing, but
Gonna-
Anthony
Well, you
answered
know
for
what
me.
though?
So
I'm getting the same thing. So I don't know if
Really?
you can see this, but through
Oh,
my
that's messy.
phone, this is what it's telling me, but it's not allowing me.
Huh.
Doc, you say you know again?
It may have something to do with your sound settings in your phone. It may, or rather, what permissions you've allowed your browser. You may have to go into like your browser settings, like in your actual phone settings, and change it. Because
Okay.
like here, I'm on iPhone, so I don't know if y'all are on iPhones or whatever. But if I go
Aaron
into
has
my
an iPhone and I think Brandy has an Android.
if I go into my settings, I'd have to go down to like Safari and then go in here and change.
It does not work
permissions.
well with Safari. I can tell you that from experience. We had a guest that we tried to get on. It did not like Safari at all.
Yeah, I'm using nothing. I'm using all my streaming stuff is done through Chrome.
It seems to work best with Chrome or with
Any Chromium-based browser.
Let me
Yeah.
tell
will
him
do
to
fine.
Opera
With
does a good job
Chrome.
too.
Opera GX, Edge, Chrome, the new Mozilla stuff.
Let me tell him that.
Does she have? They don't have computers or laptops.
I don't know. They
Oh.
always just use their phone. So we'll see.
Bless you, my son.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Was that you or Noah?
That was me. I snored.
Oh,
I didn't do anything. I was
I
just
heard.
texting.
I heard.
I,
I was like, bless you, my son.
I caught a sneeze back here.
I was like, what am I being blamed for now?
Juanita's requesting some sling blade, Doc.
Oh, jeez.
All right, then.
I just use StreamYard and it works well.
Really?
Huh.
Mhm.
I don't know what the deal is.
I don't know.
Heavens to Megatroid.
Yeah, StreamYard is StreamYard does work good. We know that. We never had an issue with that when
Yeah,
DA
I haven't had
it.
any issues out of it.
You know,
Chris, I know what's wrong with her connection.
What's that?
Ain't got no gas in it.
Ain't got no gas in it.
How much you gonna bring haters?
I can't.
Hey, Anthony, I just made my reservations for Florida. So,
Did you? All right, good.
yes.
Oh, are you driving or flying?
Oh hell no, I'm flying down there.
Okay.
Ooh,
When is it?
Megatron.
October what?
Let me consult my schedule.
Oh.
Schedule.
I am down there. I'm teaching down there at Frogmoans on the 29th. It's a Saturday.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll have the truck by then, hopefully.
Hell yeah.
Jump out there. Jumping out there.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, you're only you're Daytona, right, area? The fuck was that? What the hell was that?
I was ready to get my groove on.
That woke me up. I was like,
Christ.
what the hell?
How
Me and
loud
Noah
is
both
that?
jumped. Me and
That
Noah
was for
both
you,
jumped up.
Tombstone.
That's
Crikey.
my new little
Um,
soundboard.
You got it
Micro
working?
soundboard. Yeah.
You wasn't in here, Anthony, for the pregame stuff.
All right, Brandy said still no luck, so I told her make sure she's using Chrome.
No, you got the.
I haven't heard from Aaron, so
I don't. I've got a bunch of random shit on mine right now, brother. Like
Insert cash or select payment type.
It's like the express checkout at Walmart.
She doesn't have a laptop, Krista, or nothing. Nobody has a computer.
Aaron does at home, but she's I'm sure at the museum getting
Somebody just came in.
Somebody just popped in.
Okay. That's Aaron.
I was about to say it's a wall.
Well, we have Aaron
Hey, Aaron.
and Mark.
You might want You might want to call Brandy and walk her through it. Because if you're
Hey,
on the
Ern.
phone,
What I did was I had to completely change my login information. Oh. What?
No, your mic's working. It's just it's delayed
know.
from your video, so that's why he was asking.
yeah, because she can't
Oh,
get in at all.
okay.
Hey, tell Mark to call Brandy and walk her through it, however he got you in it. Because I know you didn't, but
Okay.
I'm sure Mark did.
So what I had to do though, it's probably not the same thing though. I had to completely like re-log into my Facebook and change my password and everything to get into a different account. So
Holy
the whole
crap.
rigmarole. So I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
That's nuts.
That is weird.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Thank you.
Well, I guess we can go ahead and jump in the middle of stuff, and hopefully Brandy will get logged in soon. So you guys want to tell us about the ghost hunt you guys did at the museum? Because I didn't get to stick around for that.
So Aaron could probably tell more about that. I really didn't participate much in it. I know Aaron did some ghost hunting.
How the Saturday night ghost event? Oh, I think she froze. Nope.
Yeah.
There we go. How
Aaron,
did the Saturday night ghost event go?
Mark.
I can't hear.
She's cutting out pretty bad.
She's cutting out in and out.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, I know that there was.
Doing that.
I know others had gotten a lot of activity.
And not joking.
Aaron, you froze up for quite a little bit.
She's just talking away.
She froze up again.
She should be getting.
It's saying
Oh,
it's having
okay. So Dave
issues,
Glidden
so-
says it went really good.
It did. It went really good. Me and my 13-year-old son, we actually got scratched there.
Really?
Yeah, not for me. You guys can get all the scratches you want. Sorry. The only scratches I get are from my dogs. That's about it. And I can see them.
Where did you get scratched at? What room? Where were you?
Is that Mike? That's Mike. Look, he's in. Oh, you just popped out.
That was Mark.
I know. I'm Mike, Mark.
Mark?
Where'd you get scratched at?
Oh, I got scratched.
What room? Where
The
were
Civil
you?
War room.
Yeah, both of you.
Civil War room. And we both got scratched.
No.
We have pictures.
And we have pictures too. I can put.
Nice.
Yeah.
They said, give this to Anthony for us.
What?
The scratches.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's okay.
What's up with, like,
Yeah, I'd be
Anthony's
gone.
not a fan of ghosts.
No, I'd be gone. You'd be like, "Where's Anthony?" I'm outside putting ointment on my scratch. I'm like, "You guys have fun. See ya." Yeah, I wouldn't bother with that. Sorry.
So I did see on the chat that Dave Glidden, he was hunting all evening, and he said they actually got quite a bit. I don't know if I can go back to what he said. He
His
said
name
he
is
captured
Dave?
a couple sounds in the basement. Yeah,
There he is.
yeah. And he actually took my
Yeah,
daughter with him.
the basement was pretty active.
Yeah, and they were down there and got some things. So
what all has been seen in that museum? I know it's got a pretty creepy history.
okay, so we'll back up and say what hasn't been seen at the museum.
I can guess that
Literally,
Anthony has not been seen at that museum.
Wow. Right, you got that right. Full-bodied apparitions, like Aaron said, people have been scratched. I've been touched. I've actually been choked.
Nope. Sorry.
Oh yeah, all kinds of things. So at one time there was a nasty there, but we did get rid of the nasty.
Doesn't sound like you got rid of the nasty. You're getting choked and scratched.
No, he's not there no more. He's not there anymore.
I wouldn't bring it out there. Hey, come let's throw a birthday party at this place. Yeah, come on. You'd be getting lawsuits from all the parents. My son's got choke marks around his neck.
But no, but they literally everything. There's 54 rooms in the building, and every room is different themes. So there's grandma's kitchen, as Aaron said, the Civil War room. There's even an Afghanistan room. There's a schoolhouse. I mean, there's everything. There's Black
What did
history.
you say? An
Mormon.
Afghanistan room.
Yeah, where they have a lot of memorabilia from the war in Afghanistan.
Really? And there's activity there?
Oh yeah. Yep. There's not a room in that place.
Iraq.
Oh,
Yeah,
Iraq.
I'm sorry, Iraq.
Oh,
My bad.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So
It's not Afghanistan, Krista. It's Iraq.
And
Yep,
what
I
in
gotcha.
Grandma's
My
kitchen?
bad.
What happened in Grandma's kitchen? You get hit with a pot or something across the top of your head? I mean, what? What goes on there?
So grandma's kitchen doesn't like men in her kitchen, literally.
Oh, yeah.
So
Like
we use men for bait.
She must be Italian.
Dude,
I'll conga right through that shit.
I know, we've had lots of experiences in there with like
Maybe that
men.
would work better.
Literally, it doesn't like men. So different like REM pods and stuff like that, we get a lot of interaction with, and
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah.
Hi, Fred.
Fred's from Alaska.
Fred.
I'm trying to see if maybe without having the video, it come on a little bit better. So,
Gotcha.
So,
do I sound
Krista,
a little bit better?
You said
Chris?
a little bit.
Yeah.
Krista, you said you were going to tell us about the time you propositioned a ghost.
Yes. So I enjoy doing private cases because ultimately I like, helping people. And we did a private case, and it was about, 6-7 years ago with an old team I was on. And the lady, it was an old rundown mobile home, and a single gal lived there. And she said that she was being touched inappropriately by this ghost. Well, when we go in, as skeptics, and we try to, figure out what's going on. Are they, try to recreate it. So me and another teammate of mine, Dana, the homeowner was gone. And then there were 2 other male teammates in the living room. So Dana and I went back and we just kind of laid on the woman's bed, and we had what was called a Periscope 360, and it lights up. It's with static electricity. And the one and only time I ever seen a Periscope 360 work was that night. And we had told it, if you can light it up to blue, then we'll let you touch our leg, or, things like that. And it was very active.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you may have finally found a ghost that Anthony will go see.
Yeah. You'd be like, why? You'd be like, why is he smiling? Why is he smiling walking out of the room? I'd be like, yeah, okay. Anybody got a cigarette?
I got my butt grabbed by a ghost in Tombstone in the morgue.
Yeah.
What was that, Doc? I didn't hear what you said.
I got my butt grabbed by a prostitute ghost in Tombstone in a morgue. And she said on the EVP said, "Ooh, he's pretty." So,
pocket sized.
Dude gave my undercarriage a "How's your father" and everything. It was interesting.
Doc, have you got somebody wrapped up in that leaf litter behind you? It looks like you got a corpse wrapped up.
No, that's my jib suit.
That's his jelly suit.
It's very small.
It's pocket size too.
So basically, this ghost touched her inappropriately. So obviously, it was a man.
Yes,
not necessarily.
It was a man.
Okay.
We actually there was a man that had lived there like 10 years before her, and he was kind of a perv. And the neighbors said, we actually talked to the neighbors, and they said that he used to bring prostitutes home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he was haunting her.
This just gets curiouser and curiouser, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was quite a story. Let me tell you. Yep, quite a story. Yeah. And then actually
Catching
just
ghosts,
about 3
catching
weeks
thieves,
ago,
yay.
I did a private case. Where I felt something touch my butt. And so I wasn't sure, like, is that my head or did I really feel something? So I said, if you like that, we had a K2 sitting out. And I said, if you peg that K2, I'll let you do that again. And it pegged. And then I felt it again.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
My
Great.
wife got her butt touched in the dining room at the Myrtles Plantation in St. Francisville, Louisiana.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
I would love to go to the Myrtles.
Oh, she thought it was me. And I was like 6 foot behind her. I said, dude, my arms are only 18 inches long. I'm built like a corgi dog. I can't touch your butt from back here unless I dial a long distance code.
So Doc, you're saying my shirts that I just bought the other day make you look like you're wearing your dad's shirt?
Probably so, yes. Yeah. It was interesting, but yeah, they'll reach out and be like Mom Bell and touch someone. That's for sure.
Now, you guys have worked other cases where the touches weren't quite so friendly.
Yes. I've
In
done.
fact, you mentioned you guys have done some demonic cases.
I have. That's more me. Erin, she likes fluffy and clouds and butterflies and rainbows. I like the dark stuff. I help with the dark stuff. So it's the demonic part.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I'm not.
That's the
I'm
stuff
sure
Anthony
everybody-
wants to go on.
I'm
No.
sure everybody on y'all's channel are familiar with you guys, but for our channel, you guys don't. The folks on our chat don't know that Erin is psychic.
Mm-hmm.
She's a reader, and I've seen her in action, and I'm quite convinced by it. It was really fun to watch.
Really? What am I thinking right now?
Anthony, put it back in your pants, man.
All right.
Yeah, I was
Demonic sounds
gonna say
like
a
my
ghost
ex.
touching your penis.
Oh. Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
Leave it to
No,
Northwoods
actually-
for the X comments.
Most
Bobby.
action I'll have in about a year, but thanks, Aaron. I appreciate
Will
that.
light up.
So, Aaron, I know you've well, even when we were there, you said that you know it tired you out dealing with things like this. Have you ever had anything that just really fought you to the point where it almost battled you back?
Go ahead, Erin. Tell them about the
Yes.
museum night.
It was. I actually had an experience where I got jumped by an entity. The one and only time I have. Let me know if you guys can't hear me because I know the connection's really bad. So
No,
just
you're
let me know
good.
if it's
You're
choppy.
good right now.
You're actually really good now.
I was in. Perfect. So I was in a hallway area, and I was pushed to a level psychically that I wasn't quite ready for. You being psychic and being a medium is like working out. You have to work up to certain levels. You have to just go and decide, okay, like a run, you want to go do a 5K. You can't just go and do a 5K without working up to it. Well, I happened to go into this location, and spirits there have mental, so they do very odd things. And me being very curious, I wanted to know more. So opening up, and you kind of go through the steps. Opening up as a medium and psychic, you're making yourself more vulnerable if you're not putting up your protective barriers as well. I was not putting up my protective. Curiosity killed a thing. I just wanted to know what's going on. I remember going around this corner and watching this entity crawl across the wall and with us at the time that was all with less features like stick figures also crawling across.
You're
And
cutting out
camera
pretty bad
is
here.
this crawling across while I'm following it. Once
The hell was that?
I went to this area, which was
Oh, there's the ghost. The ghost is acting up. Who's throwing plot? Somebody's throwing
Aaron,
pins
you're
around.
really your sound is
And
awful.
Yeah, we heard something crash.
Yeah.
That was my
Is
dog
it-
moving. That's why I keep
Yeah,
muting.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right, then. We was worried for a second.
But you called down the thunder. We didn't know what the hell was going on.
No,
She's
I'm
talking,
good.
she's talking about
I need
dark entities, and all of a sudden we hear
I know,
crashes. We're like, okay.
I need a young priest and an old priest.
Yeah.
Why do
Oh,
I
there-
smell
there-
pea soup?
There
I
goes
need
the
a holy
frog.
leader from every
Can you hear me?
religion to come with me.
Is it okay now?
It's cleared up a little bit. Go ahead.
I don't know. If
Okay. So, so once I went across, can you hear? I never know if I should stop or not. Mark,
Your sound's pretty good right now.
with it now. Hold on, he's just kind of fixing some stuff. Okay. So
Okay.
once I crossed a certain threshold, I trying to, I can't explain it. It was like I felt like I wasn't in my body. And I had to focus on regrounding and kind of centering myself. And I remember the only thing I could get out was me out of here. Mark and other team members me out. And as I crossed this certain threshold, I couldn't see anything. Just everything went black. And all I saw were flashes of 500 different, it was to scare me. Being dragged by a horse, being hanged, being hit by a train, being hit with different ways to die. Couldn't see, everything was black. And I remember I was able to see again, and I remember I looked at Mark and I heard a voice in my ear, which I believe saying, "Get out of the building." And so I just, all I could get out was, "Get me outside. And I said the Lord's Prayer probably 5 to 10 times. And I haven't said the Lord's Prayer. I mean, I believe, but I haven't religious said the Lord's Prayer in years. I said that, and I finally just felt this peace, and I was unbelievably exhausted. It took me days. One and only time I buy something or push myself too far, because it was that scary for me.
And when
I know
that
it is,
actually
but it
happened to
was
her,
definitely real.
yeah. Well, when that actually happened to her, I was working a public event at a whole other location, and it was what, 1 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah, we had to call
and she
you.
called me freaking out. It was, yeah,
Yeah.
it was a really bad experience for her. It was her first time of being attacked. You know, she was a
It
newbie
was.
back then. So yeah.
Yeah, it though, because I moment and I know how to move forward with being a medium and dealing with stuff like that. So
would you say that experience has made you stronger?
how come Mark? I don't know. I was reading comments. Thanks. Oh, I've got it. Okay. Yeah, that was my interesting moment where it really took me out. Is when last year's fall into this when Jessica and I did a gallery reading. We both got very, very afterwards with migraines and ill, very ill. I didn't need more events the rest of the night. I was stuck in. We were very sick.
So if for example, let's say you were approached by somebody, what are some of the things you look for that tell you it's a legitimate haunting?
Well, there's different. I mean, you always go in with the skeptic. You don't just like believe that the house is haunted. There's could be a number of reasons. Just like EMF could be high, or there could there's so many different things. So that's why we go in and we investigate and we figure this out for ourselves. That goes back to with me propositioning that ghost. I wanted to see if that was legit. I didn't do it for enjoyment, obviously. I did it just to see if truly, this lady really was experiencing that, So that's how we do it. Just, investigate it and make your own conclusions and see what evidence you get.
And see if you can duplicate the experience.
Right. Yep. And same thing with pictures. When you take pictures, when we go and we take pictures, we don't just snap one. We might snap 5 at the same thing, So
yeah. I've seen some odd things in
I know.
pictures
I generally
before.
go in. I generally go in.
You're cutting out again.
And Bobby.
Damn satellites.
I wonder if
That's a fact.
there's something different.
While she's figuring that out, you want me to tell you about my first demonic case?
Yes, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
go
my very
for it.
first one, and this is actually, it's a very sad story. It's very heartbreaking. It was 2 teams ago. I'm on my 3rd paranormal team, but 2 teams ago, it was back in 2007. And we had a guy call us that his house had bad stuff going on. He had a 13-year-old daughter. It was him and his wife. And what he told us was that he had 2 teenage sons. They were twins. And they were killed the previous year. They were 18 years old and on a police chase in St. Louis. And the man so much missed his children, he started doing his own EVPs in his home. And with the sadness and the sorrow, that brought in dark stuff. And that was my first true demonic experience. And he truly believed that he was talking to his sons. But once again, oh, there's Brandy. Anyway, but once again, his son said his daughter was being touched inappropriately, which happens a lot, FYI. But and he kept saying it was my sons. And I told him, I said, did your sons molest your daughter in life? And he said, no. When she said no, I said, well, they're not going to do that in death either. So that was actually that he actually, with his grief and his sorrow and doing the EVP, was wanting his son so bad, he brought in a demonic entity. And
Open up
and that was my first really, really bad case. And it was back in 2007 when like the alvalises were kind of new and they were only programmed for a certain amount of words, and cuss words was not it. And come across the alvalis, it said kill the bitch. Well, I was the only female down there. So I was, kind of freaking out, and it wasn't even programmed back then to say that word. So that was my first real dive into the demonic. And we ended up, there was a exorcist out of Springfield, Missouri. He's passed now, but he went in and he helped that family. So, and he understood after that it wasn't his sons, that they are on the other side, and they're not, they're not in pain. They're not, so it was a huge ordeal. It was very heartbreaking.
That's hard. That sucks, man.
Yeah. And I got several demonic stories if you want to hear them.
Oh, definitely. Aaron, did that help your connection any?
I think going through my phone might have.
Well, we lost her.
Oh, Brandy says they're still not programmed with cuss words. I didn't realize that because I don't really use.
Yeah, I've never worked with one.
Yeah, I really don't use them. I use my own body. My own body tells me when things are around or what's around. Might use a K2 or a REM pod or something, but nothing.
Okay, is that better, you guys?
Yeah, a bit.
As of now.
We'll just as of now. So much now.
Well, I think that got better.
Are you there, Aaron?
Okay.
I think she's getting a
Best
delay from
as I
us.
can.
Yeah.
I think it's
She might.
I think it's the site because I have like 5.
Huh? I don't know.
Huh. We may have to ultimately switch back to StreamYard.
No joke.
Restream seems to work pretty good, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
we're having some glitches, especially when we're trying to get people on.
My stuff is really delayed, like doing private chats or even switching my mic on and off.
Mhm.
It's been,
Yeah.
I've had a huge delay, and I've got my internet up to Starlink now, and I'm pulling the 300 megabits per second out here in the sticks. So it
Yeah.
shouldn't be.
That's weird.
I usually here because I live out the stick. Other internet is so. I don't know if it's. I don't know. And who knows? Things do that.
I know we don't have any
too.
storms in the area.
Ain't got no gas in it.
Put some mustard on it.
I guess tell us about another one of your demonic cases. Since
I got
Aaron still
several.
have. Oh yeah, well, I definitely want to hear them.
Well, let me tell everybody who is not into ghosts and they don't know a whole lot about ghosts. So the demonic are very real, but they are few and far between. A true demonic case. You know, if you're nasty in life, chances are you're going to be nasty in death. And same thing, if you're good in life, you're going to be good in death. So a true demonic case is very, very rare. And I've only been involved with 4 of them since I've been doing this. And another one, I don't know if do you want to hear about the doll or do you want to hear about the BTK killer?
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, either one.
Okay.
Let's hear about the BTK.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was a case. Aaron and I have a friend, and we'll call him Bob. I've always promised him I'd never put his name out there as to what he does and who he is. And he survived a very, very bad haunting in Kansas. And he started doing the more demonic cases. So I met him about 7 years ago, and he asked me about doing helping him with the negative cases. So, and he's also a medium, and he's one of the best I've ever seen. Like as far as you know, and Aaron can attest to this too, that he's very, very good. And so anyway, he had called me and another friend Kathy up and said, hey, you know, I have a case in Salina, Kansas, south of Salina, Kansas. Can you go help me with it? So we went down there and we pull up to this place, and there was a big old boy. He was probably, and I'm not kidding, like 6'8", every bit of it. Big old guy. And he was probably close 350, 400 pounds, easy. And he met us at the door, went in, and I believe it was his girlfriend. They were not married. She was sitting on the couch, real frail lady. And she was being attacked. And he claimed that he had been thrown across the room. So my job when I do these, I told you before, like I do like the mediumship stuff, but I do it on private cases. I don't like sit and read people anymore. So this one, my job is to go in and truly find where the demonic entity is. They would always run from my friend Bob, but I could always find them. We went through this whole house, me, Kathy, Bob, and Bob's wife went through this whole house. Nothing, absolutely nothing. I'm like, I'm not picking up anything. These people are full of crap, you know, blah, 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 blah. So I went outside and Kathy and I did, and they had a shed in the backyard and I was drawn to it. And Kathy and I walked down to the shed, and literally this gush of wind came at us and knocked us to the ground. And I'm like, here it is. So I told her to go casually in there. I would stand outside, go casually in there and tell Bob we found it. So he come outside and he come out and he told me, he said, I don't know why I'm picking up the BTK killer, but I am. And I'm like, well, the BTK killer, he's still alive. Why would you be picking him up? You know? So we didn't figure that out. And then the boyfriend to the guy, the big guy, no, I'm not good with gangs. I've never been in a gang, but he was M15 or M13, whatever that gang is.
MS-13.
MS-13.
That's it.
MS-13.
That's it. Okay. So he had done like 20 something years in prison for murder. We found out. And so they had met, she was like his pen pal. And that's how they met. And anyway, he got out of prison. He moved in with her and they were having this stuff going on. So Bob, he told me, he said, I need to figure out this BTK killer thing. He said, there's something off. So he brought it up to her and she just broke down. And she was a prostitute in Wichita, Kansas back in the day. And she was, I guess, one of the only survivors of the BTK killer, which was
shit.
Yeah, no kidding. But it was weird because our friend Bob was getting messages to him. It was like through the BTK killer. So come to find out, it was like the demonic entity, like sending him these messages. So anyway, to make the long story short, you know, when I go in a place like that, I know I believe in God and the Bible and Jesus Christ. And so, you know, I say my prayers. I know I have, you know, a shield on me, armor, the whole 9 yards. And Bob went to the back door. He said, I'm going to call it in. And I'm like, okay. And he said, stand here in the hallway and don't let it through until I tell you to move. So, and he also told me, he said, remember, no fear. You show no fear to them. So literally it took about 3 minutes of coaxing it. And I literally felt this rush come at me and it was in my face. I could feel the breath on my face. And when he told me to move, I moved. And I swear to God, Erin can attest to this. She has seen him with his abilities. So Bob goes to the homeowner, the lady, and holds her hand and goes into this, I don't know where he goes, but we started praying over them. And we are watching literally invisible razor blades slash his head, his arms. He had blood coming through his shirt. I mean, it was literally a battle going on between him and this entity. So, and like I said, we kept praying over him. And part of my job is I watch him. He would keep a finger up. And if that finger goes down, then I bring him out of it, literally like pull him out of it. Well, his finger was up, so I was letting it go. And after, I don't know, it was probably 20 minutes, like it was done. And he was dripping blood. Literally, it looked like he had been run over by a car. And she was like a whole different person. And literally, when I say that the room changed, absolutely, it changed. It went from darkness to light. And people talk about that, but I witnessed it. And honest to God, true story.
Yeah,
and
well, I'd be changing something else. I can tell you that if I was standing there. That's for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what. So that's not the end of it. So
wonderful.
Bob,
Yeah, more. I gotta
That
go.
would have been the
though.
end
I'll
of it
see
for
you later.
Anthony.
Yeah. As soon as I seen that blood coming on, I'd be like, listen, guys, I got a previous encounter, a date. I got to go. See you later.
Right.
No.
Well, you know, you can't show fear. And ultimately for me, it was to help these people, you know, that's why we do this. We don't do it for enjoyment. I don't enjoy going and looking for ghosts and demons. It's we help them. We help people. So Bob had a cross in his hand. And when he moved the cross, he had a burn mark literally burnt into his hand of that cross. And it stayed there for a long time. And so we ended up, make a long story short, these people, we had told them, you know, to me, positivity brings positivity, negativity breeds negativity. So their house was real dark and dank. And so I had told them, open your curtains, get some fresh sunlight, that kind of thing in there. And they did. And then we heard from them like 6 months later. And she actually had tried out for, what's that show? The singing where they try out to sing.
America's Got Talent.
Yeah, American Idol. She
Okay.
didn't get on there, but she had at least tried out. So their life had like done a 360. And yeah, we exercised her, or Bob did. He exercised her. So pretty crazy story. But honest to God, I swear on the Bible, it's 100% true. It's watching those invisible, it was like invisible razor blades just slicing him.
Anthony would have got exercise that day too, running away.
Yeah, the sprint down the block.
Marathon.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was
Have you
very,
seen
very
Anthony?
crazy.
About 26 miles down the road.
Yeah.
When Anthony wouldn't have stopped running until he hit the Ocala city limits.
There's no lie. I don't mess with stuff like that. Sorry.
That's
Like I said,
terrifying.
I'd rather jump in the woods with a dog man and Bigfoot than deal with something I can't see. Like you said, you can't see
same
it. And this
here.
thing slashing it. Nah. I'm
And
gone.
that's, and you know what, that's true actually about like the demonic. And had I known this back when I did the first case with the father with the 2 sons that had passed,
Right.
I probably wouldn't have done it, because since then I've studied under the Cajun demonologist Jeremy Leonard, who he's on the Ghost of Morgan City, and then he's got some new show coming out. But I studied under him, and he said once you do one demonic case, you're marked. So it may be 20 years from now, maybe never. They may never come after you, but maybe 20 years from now, they, when you are at your low point where they can try to attack you. So you just have to keep your faith, and I do. I don't let any holes in. So, yeah, it's crazy stuff. But like I said, I do this just to help people, and even when I do public events, I don't do ghost hunting. I'm there for the public, if they need help or how to run equipment, or if they want to know how to do it, run an EVP or something, I'll do that. But as far as me ghost hunting for fun, I really don't, I do private cases. That's when I do my ghost hunting. Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what to say about that. Sorry.
Yeah, that one freaks me out.
That's
Freak me out.
That's a powerful one right there, man. That sucker was dark and had a lot of energy to it.
Absolutely, it did.
Do you think that it might have been what drove the BT killer to kill? That entity might have been the one that did it?
Maybe. I have no idea. I don't know. But Bob had said that it was the BT killer that was talking to him, like that he was fighting with. And the BT killer is still alive to this day. She just happened to survive. So, pretty crazy story. Like, if anybody's going to have a demonic entity, it would be this story. He was in for murder. She was an ex-prostitute. She lost her children. I mean, it was a dark, dark world for them.
Yeah, that gang that he belonged to, that's the worst Mexican cartel gang in history. That he belonged to. Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, I think he did I think he said 27 years or something.
Yeah, they have the body count. Their body count on people is ridiculous.
Yeah, and he told us that he can never get out of it. He's always
No. So, I mean, we've done, Doc will tell you, and anybody, Robbie will probably tell you, but I mean, when the government gets involved and starts doing operations against them, these guys are big time.
Yeah.
They're not low level little crips.
There's a lot of gangs that say blood in, blood out, but they're one of the ones who.
And honestly, had we known that he had been in for murder, we would have went there. We had no idea.
Right.
But I mean, to meet the man, and as thankful as he was, he broke down and cried. Wanted to cook us dinner. Super nice guy. I mean, it is what it is. He paid his price.
Yeah, that's
man.
That was a pretty crazy one.
Yeah, that made me quiet up. I was like, okay.
That says something.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Yeah.
That's.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I believe in all that stuff. I do. It's like I told DA the story when my dad passed. It's going to be 3 years now. I was there when he passed. I was holding his hand. and I got a shock through my hand up my arm, like you hit your funny bone, but I was holding his hand, and I pulled my hand away real quick, and I was just like, I was startled, and it wasn't a bad feeling. It's like I felt him pass, but that night I went back to my mom and dad's house, and I slept in his room, in my mom and dad's room. My mom was in a nursing home at the time, and my dad just passed, and I was sleeping in his bed with the TV on, and my phone was on the nightstand, and I have a picture of my dad, and every time he called, it would light up with his picture. And my dad's picture popped up on the phone out of nowhere, lit the whole room up because the room was dark, and I was like, who the hell is calling me at 2:00 in the morning? And I look over, and I'm like, what the hell?
Right.
And I picked up the phone, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, and I was with somebody then, and she actually was like, that's freaky. Because she seen it. She was like, why is this happening? I'm like, I have no idea. You know,
Right.
there was a lot of stuff going on, and DA knows the backstory to it. You know, there was a lot of family drama going on. And I was just asking him when he passed, you know, my dad didn't want to go. He fought it the whole way. You know, he kept telling me, you're the strong one out of the family. You got to stand fast. You're going to run into walls. You're going to run into deceit. He told me, he goes, you're going to run into all this. Just don't lose your cool. I know how your temper gets. Just don't lose your cool. You're the strong one. And I kept asking him when he passed. I'm like, if I'm doing the right thing, just let me know. And I guess he did, you know, by showing me that. But that freaked me out. That freaked me out.
Here's the deal, though, Anthony. Your dad's not a ghost. Ghosts are stuck here. Spirits come back and give messages.
No, I know he's here with me. I feel him. I know. I see things here. Little things. If I talk to him, little things I'll see.
Yeah.
And that's not. I'm not afraid because I don't get that feeling.
Right.
But I know he's around me. Believe me, there's other things that I haven't told anyone that would probably freak everybody out. That just little things I'll ask and boom. And out, you know, like 5 minutes later, it'll happen, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, all righty then."
Right.
I'm getting answers.
When my grandmother, she had a stroke on my 33rd birthday. So my 33rd birthday was the last time I ever heard my grandmother talk. My grandmother was really special to me, and she made it about another year and a half before she finally, you know, complications from the stroke and everything. She found out. So it'd been well over a year and a half since I'd heard my grandmother's voice, and she was somebody I called every day, talked to her every single day, advice, anything like that. And of course, you know, it was pretty hard to deal with. And I was cleaning the den one day, and you know, back when we still had answering machines, and my answering machine had been on the floor unplugged for like 2 months.
Oh, you told me this one, Ronnie.
Yeah, I know I told you this. I picked the answer machine up, plugged it in, turned it on, and it was flashing like I'd had a message. I'm like, how was that thing still flashing? I hit the button, and it was a voicemail from my grandmother from before she had, and I'd never heard it before. But it was just, she was just calling and saying, "Hey, Robbie, I wanted to call and ask you about something, and you wasn't here, so I just figured I'd just leave you a message. Just call me whenever you get a chance." And I was like, I sat down on the floor for like an hour. I was like, that shook me.
Yeah, a lot of things, you know. I'm not saying I don't believe in it. I just don't mess with demonic stuff. I don't mess with that. I won't, you know, I don't.
I don't go looking for it. And like I said, the demonic are far and few between, but they are true. They are out there. And there's, you know, you just don't go in. Someone, you know, we get a lot of time people say, "Oh, the door shut. You know, I have a demon in my house." No, you don't. Right. You know, I mean, there's things that we do to figure out if it truly is a demon.
I mean, honestly, if I got scratched, if I was with you guys, I'd probably get pissed.
Yeah, but see, those are nasty human spirits. The demonic are going to do much worse than scratch.
I would get pissed. I wouldn't be scared. I'd get pissed.
Yeah.
I'd get pissed. That's just my demeanor. That's just me. I'd be like, really? You know, like, you got to do it, you know, in this form?
Right.
You know, that would just be me. I'd get pissed, you know, but yeah. I'm not saying I don't believe in it. It's just freaky stuff to me.
Yep. Like I said, they can, you know, the demonic, they can, you know, one demonic case I did, sorry, my dog's moving again.
It's all right. We got them too. Our dogs, don't worry about it.
Well, he's in his crate and he just can't get comfortable, I guess.
Well, I know mine are too, but they're not moving.
But another one I did, it was with a doll, a haunted doll, and it was a demonic doll. That was pretty creepy.
Yeah, I've seen cases on that. I've seen
just like Annabelle, you know, but it wasn't that kind of doll. It was actually wasn't even a very old doll. It had this, but it was cursed. Somebody had put a curse on it.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about that too.
Well, it was
put that eagle on me, Ricky Bobby.
Well, it was a single mom, and she had 3 teenage boys.
Can I ask you a question though, real quick? Why is it always a doll and not like a G.I. Joe or a Power Ranger? I mean, really, what's the deal?
It can be anything. Seriously.
I'm not being funny. I'm just like, why is it always these creepy friggin' dolls? Why couldn't it be like
it's not always creepy dolls. It could be furniture. It could be people.
Well,
it could be, you know, my lighter right dolls. Here.
It
doesn't matter.
Hear about the couch walking across the room and looking at you.
Exactly.
Right. I think that's what Anthony's talking about.
Right. You know, you got a $6 million man doll from the 70s. Why can't that be possessed? You know.
Could be.
But you never hear cases. All you see is these creepy dolls. You'll be like, why is it, you know?
I've heard of a case of a possessed blade, and also a friend of mine. He was actually sent me a message earlier while we were talking. He dealt with a possessed gun.
Oh, wow.
I've heard of possessed daggers and stuff, because I know somebody that had a problem in their house. Her husband came home with a dagger that he bought from a garage sale, and it wreaked havoc on their house to where she had to have the house, a priest come in and bless it. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And he said he goes, did you bring something in here that was a sword or a dagger? And he's like, yeah, I just bought it like a year ago. He goes, you need to get that thing out of your house now.
Wow.
So, and this is firsthand account that I know this person firsthand.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't lie to me about it. And I've heard it from her family and his family, you know, that they experienced this stuff, that they were there. Couches flying across the room and stuff. I've been like, yeah, nah. Sorry.
So speak of like heavy stuff like that. So that your typical ghost is just going to like open cabinets and close doors, and you might see an apparition. But when what sparks red flags for me with the demonic is like your average ghost isn't going to throw your refrigerator across the room.
No, it takes a lot of energy. I know that.
Right. So things like that is what like throws up red flags, like a couch being thrown across the room. Your average ghost isn't going to do that.
Yeah, that's nuts. Tell us about the doll. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So it was downtown St. Charles, Missouri, and it was an old 2-story house down in the historic district, and a lady lived there with her teenage sons. And when we went there, she had said that, you know, they had used the Ouija board, the kids did it all the time and stuff. So we're like, oh, okay. And so we did the whole investigation, and we had doors slam on us, and she had a fish tank that overturned while we were there. And it was a big fish tank. It wasn't like a little 10-gallon fish tank. Like, I'm talking, it was probably a 50-gallon fish tank.
Yeah.
And so that really got our attention. And well, we had talked to the boys separately. You know, we tried to question everybody, and you know, they all had admitted to using the Ouija board, but it just wasn't the difference. It just wasn't. It just wasn't adding up. And then we started asking her, you know, what's new here? What have you brought in? You know, have you brought any antiques, been yard sailing, anything like that? Well, then she said, yeah, I bought this doll for my granddaughter. So as soon as I touched it, I knew immediately. I'm like, here it is, guys. This Ouija board has nothing to do with it. It is this doll, 100%. So, and that was when actually the fish tank flew over. So I nailed it. And so we ended up taking that dowel and we buried it, and it's actually buried only about 3 miles from me right now. And we buried it in a field and put salt on it and did a little ceremony, and people haven't had any issues since, but it was a true demonic dowel, 100%.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good that you haven't had any more contact with it. Brandy asked you a question. Says, what's the difference between a ghost and a poltergeist?
Well, a ghost is human form. Poltergeist is something that can be brought on. A lot of times it's like teenage children, with their hormones going up and down, and it's not of the living, but it's also not demonic either. It's like PK, and so yeah, it's brought on, and it's not a demonic and it's not a ghost. It's like a poltergeist that it feeds off of, like your fear, your energy.
So it's not like Patrick Swayze
not
sitting
nice.
behind you making pottery with your hands then, right?
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
gotcha. All right.
Yep.
I had to throw that in there. Sorry.
Yeah. Yep. True story.
Damn it, Bobby.
I know. There's no love song playing in the background. I just be doing that. Right. I gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was just some crazy stories. I've done a lot of private cases, and some of them, are just they're not bad at all, and so we always try to tell people that, I always preach, I'm huge. If they're good in life, they're good in death.
Right.
And I like to think most people are good, So a lot of times we've been able to, do cleansings and stuff. Sometimes, if the homeowners are okay with it, we give them a room in their house and they don't have any activity outside of it. We make rules. Hey, you leave my kids, my pets alone. You can have this room. And a lot of them will agree to that. So
right. That's when you put a padlock on it and no one goes in there. Right.
Right.
Yeah, not for me. Sorry. No, I move.
So yeah, it's just
it's just like, it's like these people that we deal with that, they talk about, oh, the dog man comes around my house, Bigfoot comes around my house, it destroys my house, it does this, it does that. And what can I do? Well, DA knows and Robbie knows and Doc knows what I would do, and I know what they would do. It wouldn't even be an issue.
Yeah.
But having a ghost in your house, that's a totally different.
Well, if somebody wants help, if they have a haunting, then they need to seek out a reputable team. And also, I highly preach a team that does not charge. We do not charge a dime. Everything,
Right.
Our gas money, everything comes out of our own pockets.
Right.
And I wish Erin was on here because she had that in Washington State where she called in a team and they wanted to charge her money. And, I think that's ridiculous. I think
people just don't want to do it.
If you're truly in it to help people, you're in it to help people.
Right. People are just getting money out of it. And
it's the same thing with Bigfoot and Dogman investigations. Right. If you legitimately need help and they want to charge you money, that's probably not the group for you.
Right.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, and do your research, on the team. And even if you're out of state or don't know where to go, just Google something, and you can always reach out to Blondes and Booze. I have contacts all over the United States of good reputable teams,
Elizabeth Martin in the chat says there are poltergeists in my building downtown Spartanburg, but they all seem to be nice. I still have a hard time going into the basement.
Mm-hmm. And chances are they probably are nice, but it's just the spooky effect, of it being a ghost and you're not alone down there. I get it.
Steve Padden says the jail I used to work at was haunted. Same with the jail I worked at. There were some.
Yeah.
I had cells that were empty ring out on the intercom. I've had doors open and closed by themselves. Yeah, that old jail was creepy, especially on the overnight shift.
Yeah.
I guess Norm just texted me. He wanted to talk to Krista. He says, I would like to talk to her and ask her a question, but he's in my messenger. I don't know if he's in the
Send
chat.
him a link.
Yeah.
I'll just send him a link.
Did you send him the link to get in?
I'm going to right now.
I think he's home. I don't think is he working, Robbie, or is he home?
No, he's off today because he did some investigation stuff today.
Okay. Hold on, Norm. He's sending you the link now, bub.
Just send it.
Yeah. So.
So I seen Steve Payton on there said he used to live in Warrenton, but now I'm closer to Columbia. I've done a couple private cases in Warrenton, Missouri.
Yeah, Norm says it has to do with an incident that happened. I guess that happened to him.
Okay.
So he's going to jump in if he gets the link.
And Blondes and Booze are actually just in the state of Missouri. Aaron's over in the Kansas City area. I'm in the St. Louis area, and Brandy is southern Missouri, around Poplar Bluff area.
Let's see, Norm. Oh, okay.
Oh, he says it's personal, not for the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, brother, no problem. I'll give her your contact and let her contact you. And
yeah, that's fine.
All right, I'll do that.
Just have him message me. That's fine.
I will.
Our friend requests me, and then I'll accept it.
Sorry, Norm. I didn't know it was private.
Brandy says, let's talk about Potosi.
What
happened in Potosi?
So Potosi, Missouri, my old team, we used to hold events there. Actually, they still do, and it's public events. And what they do is the only time we ever charge money is when we hold an event. People pay to come ghost hunt with us, but we don't pocket that money. We don't get gas money. We don't get anything. That money goes for historical preservation to that location. So Potosi, we've held a lot of events there, and there is a cemetery. There's 4 buildings in like a 4-block radius, and it's a lot of walking to each location. But there's a cemetery. There's a Long Banta Mansion, which is my favorite. There is a Sweet Memories sweet shop that we start out of, and then there is the general store. And I know Brandy is probably meaning the general store. Years ago, God, it's probably been 10 years ago. I didn't have a problem going anywhere with attendees in any of the buildings. I was fine. Well, one time in the general store up in the bedroom, it was just really, really a dark energy, but it was human. It was not inhuman. And I don't even remember what I said now, but I got attacked. That was the first time I was choked, and it was so bad that I couldn't breathe. And a teammate had to get me out of the house and downstairs. So I refused to go back to the general store for a long time. And Bob, who I had told you about previously, talked me into, he said, face your fears. So he said, I'll go in with you. Let's face your fears. So I did end up going back in there with Bob, but I never went back in there before. And but Potosi is a very haunted town. They have the Long Banta Mansion, which is an awesome place. It's my favorite place there to investigate. Doors move, EVPs, there's children. Aaron and I did the Estes method in there and was getting like legit replies. And it's a pretty crazy building.
Potosi's also where the death sentences are carried out in the state of Missouri DOC.
Yep, exactly.
Used to be JCCC, but
yeah,
they moved it.
Yeah. And that the prison is probably, we were more in downtown Potosi, where the prison's kind of on the outside of Potosi. Not too far though. Mm-hmm. So Brandy, did I answer everything about Potosi? Brandy's been there a gazillion times too. So
I'd like to go. Next time you guys are going, let me know.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, my old team does it now. So, yeah.
Well,
but I can always hook you up with, the link or whatever if you wanted to go.
Surely they allow more than one group to go though.
They only let my old team go in.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. But I'd be glad to hook you up. I mean, it's a place to go to. It's an awesome place.
I might take you up on that.
Yeah. You know, you live by the Pythian Castle. You need to check that place
I live
out.
about a mile away from the Pythian Castle.
You need to check that one out.
I've wanted to, but every time I've tried to get in there, it's either been closed or, you know, they weren't open to the public at that particular time.
Okay, so Tamara is who owns it, and she kind of I don't want to say anything bad. She's just very firm on letting people come through there. And we actually, our group had talked about possibly doing an event at the Pythian, and if we do, I will let you know, DA, because it's
definitely.
It's an awesome building. I mean, you learn the history. There is I'll tell you another story about Bob. So we were at the Pythian Castle, and actually my daughter and my daughter-in-law was with us, and we were in the theater area, the upstairs theater, and we literally heard a gunshot go off, and Bob, he was hurt, like he had been shot, literally, and it was the craziest, one of the other craziest experiences I've had. But it's a pretty haunted place. My daughter-in-law had her hair pulled there. That's pretty common, and some people say they get scratched and stuff there. I personally don't know of anybody that has gotten scratched there, but yeah.
We should all get together and go to the Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs.
I'm game. Let's do it.
Annette and I actually toured it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I told you Annette's sensitive to stuff like that.
Yep.
She when she went to touch one of the doors, she said it felt like, I thought when she first described it to me, I thought she meant electricity, but she said it was like hairs were like touching her hand and running up her arm.
Yeah, let's not do that when me and Robbie come up. How's that? We'll just leave that for another date.
Yeah.
Maybe you
Anthony, I'm game, man. Come on.
All right.
I wish Brandy was on here, because I posted a picture on Blondes and Booze. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but of a picture that Brandy had taken. It was a woman, like you could see her perfectly, and it was taken at Eureka Springs there.
Nice. Eureka Springs is a neat little town.
Yeah.
I love that little town.
Yep.
Brandy says she'll go again. You had a question earlier. Let me see if I can find it again. There it is. K-Talk says, God dang it. K-Talk says, wonder if Krista thinks the Limp Mansion is truly haunted.
I've never personally investigated there because I think it's over-investigated, but I've eaten there and I felt things. So I do believe it is haunted. And with the history of the place, how can it not be?
No kidding. And Brandy Butcher, she mentioned something about the Tri-County truck stop.
Yes.
What happened there?
So Tri-County truck stop, it was the first truck stop in this that ran down old Route 66. And it's there. DA, I know you're familiar with probably with the Highway 44 area, which I know you are.
Live right off of it.
Like on we're going towards St. Louis, and to get off at the Washington exit there on 44, Tri-County truck stop is located right there.
Okay.
And right now it's abandoned, but it was, they say that it's the first truck stop that were run through there. And also Elvis Presley ate there, and so did Marilyn Monroe, but not together.
Oh, that's cool.
So, but so there's a video up, and I can see if I can find it. I would have to borrow it from my old group and get permission to use it. But the TV show Fact or Faked, and Ben Hansen, who does now the UFO side of things now, but he came there with a couple of their teammates to figure out if it was true or not. And they indeed said it was a fact, but there was a video captured of a blue man walking through the basement. And then, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin. There's the upstairs. They used to have like the rooms where the lot lizards would hang out. And they would go visit the truckers, you know.
You got Anthony's attention to that one, I bet.
Anthony's lot lizards.
I hadn't heard that term in a minute.
Well, that's what they called them.
You still hear it a lot around Missouri.
Yeah. So
I was a truck driver, so tell me about the lot lizards.
Yep.
Yeah, I know about them. Yeah. We got them over here.
Yeah. So Tri-County truck stop it's abandoned now, and we have, last time I was there, we did an event there. It was maybe a year and a half ago with my old team, and as far as I know, nobody's been back in there, but vagrants had gotten in there and really tore up a lot of things, and it's all concrete. And it was a working truck stop. I mean, people, they would go to the bar at night, and that was the place to go, to get instead of Denny's, they went to Tri-County, to get your midnight snack on. So, and a lot of the waitresses throughout the years have talked about, seeing different entities, and the one set of steps, there's two sets of steps that go to the upstairs, and the one of them, you better hold on to the railing because people have been pushed. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yep. So it's fun stuff, man.
I'd like to go check that place out.
Yeah.
Can you get in there? Do you have to get permission to get in there?
We do, but we do have connections. We can make that one happen.
Maybe that's something we should do. Me and Annette make a trip up there and meet you guys sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love to do that.
That'd be great. That would absolutely be great. Yeah, it's a pretty exciting building, for sure. And honestly, I mean, there's another place over in Kansas City that I always enjoyed going and ghost hunting, and that is Shoal Creek Living History Museum, and that place has I think there's like, don't quote me on the exact number, but there's like 15 or 16 buildings that have been moved from around the state to this location, and we got a lot of activity there. Even the woods. There was Indians in the woods, and we would just a lot of stuff. So Steve asked, ever do anything in Montgomery County? The only thing I've ever done in Montgomery County, I did do a private case there, yes. But it was like a Casper ghost. It was a good ghost there. And it was actually in Montgomery City. Oh.
So, okay, I know you've done demonic cases, but what's the most terrifying case that you've done that was not demonic?
That was not demonic?
We just lost Anthony.
I guess I would have to say, wow, that was not demonic. I really don't get scared when I do like private cases that are not demonic. So I really can't. It's the demonic, the ones that that scare me, that you just show no fear.
Yeah.
At the time, I don't show fear, but when I get out there, I'm like, holy shit, what did I just see? Or witness, and yeah.
So I've got a question for you. When we went to when Annette and I went to LBL, actually it was me, Annette, and Nick went to Land Between the Lakes last year. They stayed at we stayed at the Green Turtle Bay Resort. Well, they stayed at the resort, and I went into LBL by myself.
Wow.
Day and night, the first day and a half till Nick Valente got there. But I went in and was messing around in there quite a bit by myself. And I went to the old Nickel Cemetery, which is supposed to be very close to where the family of 4 was killed. And after we left LBL for weeks, I felt like something was watching me when I would go outside at night.
Wow. I believe that. But can't you could have, maybe you were.
There was even points we'd go out in the backyard. I'd go to like 2:00 in the morning to let the little idiot dog out, and he wouldn't leave the light. He would pee and dart right back in the house. And the other nights he would go run around the yard because we have a big backyard.
Yeah.
There would be nights he would go trucking out there, and then the other nights I would go out there and I just had that weird feeling, and he wouldn't leave the porch light.
Right.
Well, critters know, man. Dogs know whenever there's something. When there's some sort of spiritual mischief about.
My friend, he's actually been on the show once. His name's Wes. I won't say his last name because he's still with the sheriff's department. He's Navajo, and him and I talked about it, and he said that he felt like something had been attached to me, and he told me about a blessing way and how to how to cleanse your house. And I haven't noticed it so much, but every once in a while I just get the heebie-jeebies when I
Yeah.
go out in the backyard. A couple of times even during broad daylight.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah, I feel like, there's, we all know there's a lot of tragedy that happened at the LBL. So, I mean, even before, like, not even talking dogmen and stuff, it's things have happened out there, and who's to say you didn't pick up something?
I think something attached
Yeah.
itself to me. Kirst says straight line across the map. How far are you from LBL? It's almost a straight shot for us just to head down 60 toward LBL. It's about 6 hours from here. But the strange thing is, I've always been told that spirits have difficulty crossing running water. But we crossed 2 major rivers, and
Yeah.
whatever it was still followed us.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think water has much to do with that.
Krista, let me ask you. We did it on my show. We did a show on ley lines that hadn't come out yet, but is that something that you've ever? Is any kind of correlation with that and hauntings or poltergeist or any of that kind of stuff?
I've never thought about the ley lines with hauntings. I do know some people in the UFO world, they say the ley lines have a lot to do with that. So, but as far as hauntings, I've never thought about it, or it's something worth looking into for sure.
Chairman Meow said, well, I was going to ask that, but it just disappeared on me. Now I've lost it completely. Yeah, he said, do ghosts ever wake you up? Do ghosts ever wake you up and bother you while you're trying to sleep, or can you block that out?
I personally, years ago, I'm also a medium, have been for my whole life. My first experience happened when I was in high school. I was walking with a friend of mine, and I seen an old man walking through the hall. Our school is brand new. And I said something to her, oh, whose grandpa is that? And she looked at me like I'm crazy. And I seen him like he was standing in front of me, and she didn't. He wasn't there to her. So that was where I first started experiencing things. And then back in, it's been 10 years ago now, I was at a really super low point in my life, and I started hearing voices when I was sleeping, and I would hear my name. A Chinese man would always say my name. So I literally, I was to the point that I'm crazy. I need to commit myself. And I reached out to so many people in St. Louis, and nobody would help me. Everybody blew me off. So what I did was I went further. I reached out all over the whole United States. Well, Sarah Lamos, who she messaged me back, and she said that she was getting ready to start her first classes, and that I should take them. And honest to God, true story, she was wonderful. She didn't charge me, and she knew I needed help. So to make a long story short, I learned through her classes that it's on my terms. It's not their terms. So no, I don't have issues anymore with people waking me up. I also used to not be able to walk into a Walmart store without having panic attacks, just feeling everybody's emotions. You got sad people there, happy people, depressed people, mad people. So everything was bouncing. And I took Paxil for many years for anxiety and depression. And 10 years ago, I learned how to deal with it, and through Sarah's classes. And I don't take any medication at all to this day, and I can walk in Walmart just fine. So to answer that question, it's on my terms. And if somebody out there has issues, they can message me, and I can, tell them what to do where it's on their terms and not the ghost or the spirit side terms. But
I get anxiety when I go in Walmart too, but it's usually because I'm going there to deal with a shoplifter.
Well, there you go.
I
don't think you can help with that one, can you?
No, I can't help you with that one.
My issues with going into Walmart is because I can't go into a Walmart in Springfield without seeing at least 4 people I've put in handcuffs at one point in my career.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why we want to move out of state.
Yeah. So anyway, it's I don't know. I think all of this, everything from metaphysics to dogmen to ghosts, I think it's all like it all is somehow related. We just haven't figured it out
Do you think
yet.
there's something metaphysical about dogmen?
Well, to a point, yes, because I hear credible people say that they've mind speak to them, and to me, that's kind of a way of kind of in a metaphysics sense, I guess. So maybe so, yeah.
Most mind speak, quote unquote mind speak encounters that, and I'm not dismissing it. Don't take it that way, any way, shape,
Yeah.
or form. But being 20 years in law enforcement, I'm a very physical evidence kind of guy.
Right.
But most mind speak cases, it wasn't conversations. It was like, get out of here, or you're in danger. It was
Right.
very direct speak. But I've had that happen to me, and it wasn't because of a cryptid. I've walked into a building looking for a guy and had that little primitive part of my brain go, back out of here right now. You are going to die.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you what,
to me, it's just
exactly.
ass saving fear, or what do you want to call it? That lizard part of your brain telling you are going in farther in danger than you need to be.
Exactly. And that's the thing. That's, if you're getting your gut feeling to go right, but you want to go left, you better go right, because your gut will never lie to you.
Well,
and that's a whole nother show.
We've talked about it before, DA. If they're a dog man, and then there are, like, for lack of a better term, actual, not movie werewolves, but actual werewolves, there would be a lot of supernatural stuff with that, because that would be something that was not just an animal out there that like the typical dog man that we've talked about. I mean, so maybe these, what Krista was talking about, the ones that, or that mind speak or whatever it is, maybe it's a supernatural entity and it has that ability versus just a regular dog man. It's just
right.
Well, I know I wish kind of wish we had William Nighthawk on here, because he's also very in tune to stuff like that. But him and I were talking, and I was talking about how even my grandparents used to say, "Don't whistle in the woods at night." And he said that he'd been told that his whole life by his family, because it brings things to you don't want coming after you. And then of course I've read a few Wendigo encounters where someone had whistled in the woods and this thing came after them. But I think that's almost more of a dark entity connection instead of just a pure monster. I think you're attracting the attention of something you really don't want attached to you. Because the one account I read that was in it was southern Illinois, near the Missouri and Kentucky borders. A lady went out looking for her dog and ran out in the woods, and she was whistling for the dog, and finally it come running back, but she felt like something was coming at her in the woods. She runs back to her house, shuts the door, and she said she described this creature as a Wendigo, and it would come around her house every night, like messing with windows or trying doorknobs, until she was put in touch with somebody who was a shaman who came and chased it off. So that leads me to believe it's the Wendigo is definitely more on the spiritual side, because it's you've got Wendigo psychosis, you've got people that are possessed by the spirit of the Wendigo, much like the Swift Runner case. He didn't physically transform; he was just possessed by that spirit. Well, I don't believe all cryptid things are supernatural in origin. I definitely think the Wendigo is, and I think it is a very dark entity, very old.
I would agree.
And that's why I think the true Wendigo can't be killed. I think you might be able to kill lesser Wendigo, for want of a better term, or people that have been possessed by the spirit. You can put them down, but I think the spirit of the Wendigo is as old as this continent. It's a very, very ancient spirit, and we don't understand it enough to hurt it.
Do you think it's on more like kind of like the demonic side of
I
things?
definitely think it's some sort of very primal demonic force.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this about the Wendigo: your snowmobile ain't safe neither.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Wow.
Walk your snowmobiles up.
That's out of the book, Chris. The Curse of the Wendigo. DA wrote.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the scenes we had in the book. But yeah, I believe
Rondo definitely do that.
If William Nighthawk here, I think he could elaborate even further on the dark energy that these things have, because I mean, as long as there's been light, there's been dark.
Right.
And these things are definitely very, very dark.
Well, there's a reason that people all across the planet experience what they call the uncanny valley. Why we fear things that look almost like us in the dark. But I think it's because since, long before our ancestors learned to make fire, I think there were things much like cryptids or even dark spirits that preyed on us.
Yeah.
And in some places probably still do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. That's scary stuff.
I think that would be a really great topic for a show. Get you, and if we can get a good connection with Aaron and Brandy, and get William Nighthawk on here and talk about the possible origins of the Wendigo. I think that would be a fantastic show.
Yeah, that'd be awesome for sure.
Yeah, if you're down for that, we'll see if we can get that set up here in a week or two.
Yeah, that'd be a great show.
Probably be one to make sure I do when I've got my computer rebuilt, because the laptop I've had a couple of questionable moments where I thought I was about to lose everything.
I understand that.
Country Boy Cryptid says it makes sense to him. So yeah, I think that would be a great topic for a show. I mean, I think we could spend easily a couple hours talking about that.
Easily.
I mean, I think there are things that we would consider what they have in the movies as a werewolf, which William would probably say a lot of that would be more like a skinwalker type thing. But it takes, what you fear is what you're going to see, and if a werewolf is truly what you fear, then that's what you're going to see. And I don't, like DA, what you saw out in LBL that you talked about, that you and Nick saw. Yeah, I believe that was just an actual dog man.
I think so. Broad daylight, it was solid.
But you think about some of them stories that we've read, over the past couple of shows. Some of those, that there was characteristics of a dog man, but there was a lot of stuff in there that were not in the typical dog man stories. We were all just like, wow. So I mean,
yeah, and to add to that, Robbie, I mean, how many of y'all have ever heard, if you think about it, you're going to manifest it?
Right.
That's true. Very true. I believe that's paranormal too, for sure.
Roxanne Hughes had a question for you, Krista. She said, what's your opinion of a doppelganger? Do you think they exist?
Absolutely, I do. I know people who have seen doppelgangers, and they say if you see it or see yourself or something, means you're impending doom. I don't necessarily believe that, but I do know of people who have seen someone and they swore up and down it was this person and it wasn't. So
I've taken a couple of stories like that myself.
Yep.
Where they swore up and down they were doing, it was actually a group that was investigating in a haunted house up near Lebanon, Missouri, and they went in, and one group went upstairs and the other group stayed on the ground floor and were poking around with the basement. And one of them said he looked down in the basement, and one of the guys that went upstairs was down there going, "Hey, come down here, I got something to show you."
Right.
And he said, I didn't do it because I knew damn good and well he was upstairs.
Right.
He said, when I turned the light away and turned back and he wasn't there no more. And he said at that point it was, hey, look at the time.
Yeah.
It is time to go.
Yep.
Wow, would you look at that? I got another engagement I got to get to.
Yeah. I got to be anywhere else but here right now.
I know DA's sitting in the car. What is he doing in the basement? Right. He's in the car. What is he doing in the basement? No, see ya. Nope.
Chris, I've got another question for you, and this one's just kind of pulling it out from under my hat, so to speak. What would you think about a multi-discipline approach to an investigation, like going to LBL and having your group investigate from a paranormal side and my group investigate from a cryptid side and compare notes on what we find? Because I think there's more going on in LBL than just cryptids.
So my first question is, is you're not going to send me and my partners there out by ourselves at the
Oh God,
LBL.
no, we'd be together.
No.
And,
Okay.
I can
Okay.
guarantee
No.
the bulk of us would be armed.
Yeah, you'll have at least 2 of us with you guys with rifles. So
I think I would be game. I
would
know
like to
Aaron
do
would.
three,
I
or
go
four
back
of
to
don't know about
LBL.
Aaron, but I know Brandy would.
I'd like to go back into LBL, one, armed, and 2, I would like to do a multiple discipline approach. I would like to have people that are experienced in the paranormal and can do that, can investigate together, not necessarily, hey, let's split up like the Scooby-Doo gang.
right.
I mean, we all go to the same place, and you guys look at it from one discipline, and we look at it from another, and see what we can find. Because I know people have found physical evidence of Dogman, but then that whole place has just got a dark energy to it.
Yeah.
You've been in the woods quite a bit, especially around the horse ranch, right, Krista?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Here in Missouri, how often have you gone out in the woods, day or night, and not heard an animal, not seen one?
Honestly, not very often.
I went into LBL when we stayed in Grand Rivers. There were deer and possums and squirrels and all kinds of stuff, all the animals you would expect to see. We saw roadkill on both sides of the highway when we were going into LBL. I crossed into northern LBL, and in 4 days in northern LBL, I didn't see a single animal.
Wow.
Day and night.
Yeah.
4 days.
What does that tell you?
Not roadkill, not deer, not squirrels, nothing. I didn't see a single animal in the north end of it. And I was all over the north end of LBL. I didn't see a single one in 4 days.
Yeah,
and that freaked me out.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
That led me to believe there's way more going on there than just a big predator.
Exactly.
DA,
Absolutely.
Norman wanted me to tell you, and I kind of forgot about this. We actually had talked about trying that up here. His partner is I guess sensitive would be the best for. We actually I was going to get with you, Krista, send you a message about getting her in touch with Aaron, because she's got some interesting things. You'll hear when you listen to the next podcast, DA. This girl's got some interesting stuff to say. She had like a laundry list on that Ridge Church that we talked about before.
Wow.
She talked for like 15, 20 minutes on that stuff that Norman didn't even know about. So we actually thought about that two-pronged approach.
I think it's the best way to approach some of this stuff, because we are getting so many accounts, these cryptid accounts, that include details that aren't in the physical realm. Just off the top of my head, Robbie, remember that one where the old boy didn't see anything until the police lights lit it up in the ditch behind it?
Yep.
Right.
That's not normal.
No.
We're seeing elements to these stories that are just they're not something you would expect from a physical creature, but we still get lots of accounts that are definitely physical. But then you start talking about people that have experienced mind speak. Now, and again, I have not experienced it. What I've experienced, what I refer to as my lizard brain telling me, you're in over your head, back the hell out of here. It's happened to me in the woods. It's happened to me on a couple of building searches. It's happened to me in my law enforcement career. I mean, it's just that what I call old-fashioned ass saving fear in the back of your head, saying you're in over your head, back out of here until you got a couple more guys. Right. But Country Boy Cryptid said you didn't hear birds or insects. We did hear insects, and we would hear birds, but they never came down. They were always in the tops of the trees. But as for squirrels or anything like that, didn't see a single one, not in four almost 5 days there.
Huh.
But I think because of
it's
the
one
way
thing to not see them for a little bit, but 5 day stretch that you don't see anything.
And there were a couple of places I went, and my wife thinks I'm nuts, and I probably am. The first day, almost 2 days I was there before Nick arrived, I was running around all over the place day and night. And I went into a couple of places right at dusk, and just shut the van off, got out, sat down on a rock or something, and just sat there for half hour, 45 minutes, just waiting, seeing if something would approach me. And the only 2 places I really got the heebie-jeebies, like, you need to be somewhere else right now, was right there at the Nickel Cemetery. If you watch the video I filmed at Nickel Cemetery, you'll see me keep turning my head because I kept hearing something like it was approaching me in the trees. And I finally cut the camera and went in there.
and couldn't find anything. And then I got back to the camera. I'm like, look, dumbass, you're alone, you're unarmed, and all you got's a freaking camera. Maybe you ought to go somewhere else. And the other spot was at Demumbers Bay.
How
What's
far
that, Robbie?
was were you talking about right now? How far was that from that picture that you did for the book that we were talking about before? With that, once you looked at it later on, you saw the thing in the tree behind you. How far from were those two spots away from each other?
That where that was Joe Bald, the Joe Bald Recreation Area. That's about maybe 35, 40 miles from here. It's just down on Table Rock Lake. So they were 6 hours apart, basically, maybe 7 because it's farther away.
Right.
So not even in the same.
I knew it was in the same area, but I just wasn't sure how close it was, because that's, you talked about once y'all got those pictures took, didn't you say y'all felt like it's time to get out of here?
Yeah.
But didn't know why.
Right.
And the other night over there at the ranch, DA, I had said something about, because Katie her and Jessica forgot the equipment and had to go back and get it. Well, anyway, got back late, but like using like equipment even to like at the LBL to see if like Dogman or Bigfoot could communicate to us through there, not just ghosts. Because I wanted to try that night there at the ranch, but unfortunately they were kind of late getting back. But I think taking stuff like that and doing that, I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I think a multidisciplined approach on some of that would get better results, especially if we find things that corroborate each other.
Yeah, and do like you run like ghost box and stuff where we can hear it, and record it and things like that out there. That would be cool.
Curse says, and apparently DA is now admitting to trying to turn into a missing 411 case. Well,
and take the rest of us with you.
as a small child running around the woods of the Ozarks, my mother, God love her, God rest her, she used to say that I would blunder in where angels feared to tread. And that's kind of been the hallmark of my life.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome. I know Brandy, she said she was game.
Yeah, we should definitely plan an outing like that. Maybe do one that's closer first and see if we can get the iron worked out of the nuts and bolts figured out, because LBL is going to be an expedition. It's going to be something we're going to have to do multiple days. It's 6 hours away. We're not going to make an afternoon of it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's only like 3 hours from me from St. Louis. It's not super far from St. Louis area.
Yeah, it would be closer because
it's doable for me.
Where we go, we cross right there where Missouri, Illinois, and Kentucky meet. So might be a lot closer to you.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah, Werewolf had a question for you.
I know. I'm waiting for him to get his system up and running. I did talk to him the other day. So he was having issues with the camera and the computer, and he tried getting on with me here with his phone. It won't work. So I know that. So, And Brandy said it's not far from her either.
Yeah, it's not far from her at all.
Annette says she'll only go if we stay at the resort again, because she liked that resort. The Green Turtle Bay was a really nice resort.
Is that the one with the casino?
No, there's no casino there.
You stop getting me and we'll head up there.
These little cabins right on the
lake. I'll go. I told you that. I can come pick you up and shoot over. And I told you that.
That'd be something we would definitely want a group of us that are experienced with firearms as a security team and investigators. I know you're not supposed to take guns into LBL, but you know what? In 4 days in northern LBL, I never saw a game warden either. So
yeah, well, I'll deal. That's all right. He's got a badge right there. See that?
I got my license, my free carry.
Hopefully by then I'll have all my Leosa stuff straightened out.
Yeah. I don't care what a game warden says. I'm not walking around in there unless I have something on me.
Oh, definitely.
Guidelines.
Yeah. More of guidelines, really. Papa C says, weird Bonita, Steve B, Jay, and Judy complained about that happening to them on the Mogollon Rim. I saw one of those pictures before it disappeared. Cool. David By says it'd be almost 10 hours for him.
Yeah, he's in Kansas, I believe.
Yeah. You think it's long for you? It's long for me and Robbie.
Well,
it ain't more than 10 hours from and dock.
I'm a little
Yeah.
long in the tooth and got a bad back, so I ain't sleeping on the ground. I think
Yeah.
we'll stay at that resort and go in and do our stuff day and night.
I'd drive out to DA's place and then we could just convoy down because it's about a 8 to 10 hour drive for me to go to DA's and then from there. So
All right.
Chairman Meow asks, "What's LBL anyway?" LBL is the Land Between the Lakes public recreation area. It's actually managed by the National Park Service. Been a lot of people go missing in there over the years. If you can look up Land Between the Lakes all over YouTube, and I've got a few videos on Land Between the Lakes, not only for the podcast but of the time I spent in LBL. So you can look at the channel and look up LBL and find a lot of the stuff. But it's a very, very weird place, and a lot of people try to get there to do research. I know some people that have had some really interesting things happen there.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
No, we're on 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Oh, we're over 2 hours already. Holy crap!
Yeah, I didn't realize that. So
I'm surprised the laptop lasted that long.
Yeah.
I know mine's about to die.
Okay. Well,
Got a little bit more.
I guess we'll go ahead and start wrapping it up then. But I definitely want to talk to you guys more about maybe we could do like a test run, on something local. I know you're still trying to get into what's the name of that?
Why don't we go to the ranch?
Murray Woods. Yeah, we could do it at the ranch.
Yeah.
That would be a great place. That's only 2 hours, 2.5 hours here for me.
Yeah.
Right. That's not much of a drive.
Nope.
Yeah, if we could
We
get a
could
time when
definitely
they're
do
not
it.
doing hunts out there and everybody could just stay there at the ranch, that would be a great place to do it.
Yeah, they do. They have 5 bunk rooms, and then if you have a camper or you want a tent camp, whatever, you can do that.
Country Boy Cryptid says, "Why won't they let you carry a gun in LBL?" Most national parks won't let you carry, but they do allow hunts in LBL, but you've got to be registered with the park rangers. We wouldn't be going in to hunt anything on 4 legs, so
no.
Yeah,
we're not. And also, we got a cop with us and a retired cop, so I think we could probably pull it off.
just throw me under the bus. I'll go to jail. Just don't leave me in there. Find me out.
Can Squatch says, "Remember, LBL is national park and policed by the feds." True, but like I said, I never saw one. I was all over the north end of LBL for 4 days 4 days and 4 nights, and then we left on the morning of the 5th day. But I never once saw anybody in there checking IDs or anything. And it wasn't like I was walking around unarmed. I mean, I didn't have a firearm on me because I didn't go in at the time. I didn't carry one because I was more concerned with not getting caught because I'd never been in there. But I had to use a phrase from Hot Fuzz, I had a load of cutlery. I was well represented by the good folks over at Scallywag Tactical.
Wow.
Yeah, the ranch is a good place to start. Country Boy Cryptid says, "Crazy, I'm from West Virginia. We carry guns everywhere. For the most part here in Missouri, we do too. But you couldn't carry into the Wilson's Creek National Battlefield. It's a national park. There are other places like federal courthouses you can't carry.
Right.
Yeah, it's there are places that are restricted. But I think we're going to do our best to just not get caught."
Yeah.
Doc says, "Where's the ranch located?" Oh, reading that. It's
we forgot.
about 2 hours for me, Doc. It's up
Okay.
near Lexington, Missouri.
It's about 45 minutes outside of Kansas City.
And, we could always take a trip into Kansas City for some fantastic barbecue.
I'm down.
Yep.
Yep,
Four
for
flat
sure.
tires.
Some of the best barbecue in the world's in Kansas City.
Yep.
I am down.
Like
Well,
4
folks,
tires.
yeah, there we go, like a fat kid on a seesaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mondoc says concealed carry means concealed carry. Exactly. But, without a trench coat, I may have to be tough to conceal some of the stuff I plan on taking.
It's
But
kinda
anyway,
like
that's
the big
beside the
girl.
point. Yeah,
Ranch is only
that's
9 hours.
beside the point.
Ranch is only 9 hours from me, DA, so that's an easy day.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Krista, I want to thank you so much for coming on. I'm so sorry
Thanks
that
for
we
having
couldn't
me
get.
again.
Oh, absolutely, anytime. And I'm so sorry we couldn't get Aaron and Brandy on. We got to figure out what the glitch is and get that sorted out, because I definitely want them on. And I do want to plan. I do want to plan some multidiscipline outings, because I think that's the way to approach these things. I think we're gonna by corroborating and gathering and comparing what we learn. I think we're going to come up with a lot more things that we can present as saying these were gathered independently, but they corroborate each other.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm all about it. So for sure.
Yeah.
2023 is not that far,
No, it is not. And a good time to go into those places is when there ain't bugs out. So I don't mind going when it's a little cool.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
And again, Krista, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
I
you.
definitely want to get with you here in the next week or so, and get with William Nighthawk and and do that the Wendigo show that I was about to say Skinwalker, but that's not what I was wanting to say. Thank you so much for coming on. Okay, Doc, Anthony, Robbie, thank you guys for hanging. Norm, have a good night, brother. Sorry you couldn't join us. Noah had to take off because he does editing for another channel, and he had to go jump on and get on that. But hopefully by this Saturday, knock on wood, we'll have the computer rebuilt, and I won't have the glitchy problems I've got with the laptop. I am shocked my crap top has held together this well.
Yeah.
It's done a really good job. I didn't have as many glitches as I thought. So things are in motion. We are going to get the new computer up and running soon. I just want to thank everybody for all the kind words that you guys have sent me since the computer crashed, and thank you guys for being in the chat and supporting the channel. And don't forget, I posted the link to Blondes and Booze. I will post that again real quick. Make sure you guys head over there and like, share, and subscribe to their channel. Check out their awesome content. And I think we were going to do more of these where we're broadcasting on both channels at the same time in the near future. I think it worked out pretty well, other than the connection issues we had with Brandy and Aaron.
And sometime we'd like to have all you guys on Blondes and Booze too. That would be fun. Right. Talk cryptids and stuff. And then DA, you're coming on. We have Nick Valente as a guest, and you're going to come and co-host with us.
Absolutely.
So be fun.
And the weekend of the 15th, the 14th, 15th, and 16th of this month, we won't have a show on the night of the 15th because the 15th, that weekend, I am appearing at a convention here in Springfield called the Gaming Arts Media Expo. I'll be there with books and signing autographs and doing some panels. So if you guys are anywhere near the Springfield area and you'd like to come chat and say howdy, come swing by the table. We would love to see you guys and hang out. And that'll be the Gaming Arts Media Expo here in Springfield, Missouri. You can find that. Just Google that or search it. It'll be at the I can't remember the name of the Hammonds Hotel and Convention Center. It's a really cool venue. A lot of great restaurants right within walking distance. This year is going to be the final year for the Gaming Arts Media Expo. Admission's $10 a head. So you can't go wrong with a deal like that, considering all the vendors. There's going to be comic book artists there, a lot of costuming, other authors. There's going to be a lot of great stuff. Unfortunately, this is going to be the final year because the guys that are putting it on said that it's become more work than they wanted to. So hopefully you guys will be able to turn out for the final year of the Gaming Arts Media Expo. And again, we are definitely going to do more shows like this with Krista and them. I love digging into other branches of like the paranormal and the occult, because I think there is a great degree of overlap. Don't you, Krista?
Yep, absolutely, 100%.
And a lot of times, and my buddy Tex over at Texas Front Porch, if you guys check his channel out, but he has mentioned before that a lot of times he thinks when people have seen glowing red eyes in the dark and described it to Bigfoot, that it could possibly have been something demonic, and it's something I want to explore. Just because you're out in the woods doesn't mean you can't run into something demonic, because I know there are places that are just bad ground.
Yep, 100%.
And I think LBL is one of those places that's just bad ground.
Just tainted.
Mm.
Yeah, there's just something dark about that place.
Mhm.
So again, thank you guys for joining us. Krista, you are so awesome. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
hanging
You
out.
guys are too. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Sorry we had some technical difficulties, but hopefully we'll get those worked out for the next one, and
For
we'll
sure.
get that Wendigo show planned. So
Yep, for
again,
sure.
thank you guys so much. Thanks everybody for being in the chat. Everybody, I hope you guys had a wonderful time. I know we enjoyed doing it, and we will see you guys on Saturday night. I will announce the show. I've got to get a hold of a dude that I was going to have come on the show, and I don't want to announce it until I verify it. But Saturday night will be a good show as well. So hope you guys will join us then. Hope you guys have a wonderful night, and we will see you this weekend. And have a blessed day. And if folks don't remember, when you say your prayers, think of all the folks that were harmed in the hurricanes that hit the Carolinas and hit Florida.
Absolutely.
If you can donate to the American Red Cross. They're handing out water and food down there for the survivors of that hurricane. Just keep them in your thoughts and prayers, and if you can help where you can.
Absolutely.
And again, say a prayer for them at night tonight before you go to bed, and keep them in your hearts. So I hope you guys had a good time. Hope you guys had as much fun doing this as we did. And again, we'll see you guys on Saturday night. Have a wonderful week, folks.
See you
Good
later.
night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Go.
Thank you for joining us. Catch us again Wednesdays and Saturdays on DAX Machina. A special thanks to all our channel members and Patreon supporters. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe.